Did you know that in just the last year, over 500,000 people left the UK, many of them immigrants who once saw this country as a land of opportunity? But why? What's driving this mass exodus? Is it just about tougher immigration rules, or is there something much bigger happening? For years, the UK has been a top destination for people chasing a better life, better jobs, better education, better future. But now, people are packing their bags in record numbers, leaving behind the very dream they once came for. Some say it's the skyrocketing cost of living, others blame the government's hostile policies, and some whisper that the UK is simply not what it used to be. But here's the real question. Is the UK pushing immigrants out, or are they simply choosing to leave? Stay with me, because in this video, we're diving deep into 10 surprising, and some even shocking, reasons why immigrants are leaving the UK faster than ever before. Some of these reasons no one is talking about, but they will make total sense when you hear them. And trust me, if you've ever thought about moving to the UK, or even leaving it, you don't want to miss this. Number 1. Stricter immigration policies and visa rules. If you think getting into the UK is tough, staying here is even harder, and it's only getting worse. Over the last few years, the UK government has tightened immigration rules like never before. Higher visa fees, new restrictions, and endless paperwork are making it incredibly difficult for immigrants to stay, work, and build a future here. Take this. The cost of a UK skilled worker visa has doubled in just a few years, and now the government is increasing the minimum salary requirement for work visas to over £38,700 per year. That means thousands of workers, especially in healthcare, hospitality, and IT, won't even qualify anymore. And it's not just workers. International students are getting hit too. In a shocking move, the UK recently banned students from bringing their families, causing thousands to rethink their decision to study here. Imagine moving across the world for a degree, only to be told that your spouse or child can't join you. Even those who have lived in the UK for years are facing problems. The rules around settlement and citizenship are getting stricter, and many are being rejected for minor reasons. But here's the worst part. Many immigrants say the UK's immigration system feels hostile. Constant policy changes, uncertainty, and the fear of sudden rule shifts have created an environment where immigrants feel unwelcome and disposable. Compare this to countries like Canada and Australia, where immigration pathways are clearer, easier, and even encouraged. In those places, if you meet the criteria, you're almost guaranteed a future. But in the UK, you never know when the rules will change against you. For many, it's just not worth the risk anymore. Number 2. Rising cost of living crisis. Let's be real, the UK is getting insanely expensive to live in, and for immigrants, it's becoming completely unsustainable. In just the last few years, the cost of rent, food, energy bills, and transport has skyrocketed. A basic one-bedroom flat in London, you're looking at £1,500 to £2,000 a month. And that's before utilities. Even in smaller cities, rents have shot up by 20 to 30% in just a year. Food prices? Up by 25% in the last 2 years. Electricity and gas bills? Almost doubled. And here's the worst part. Wages aren't rising fast enough to keep up. Many immigrants, especially those working in hospitality, healthcare, and tech, are struggling to survive despite working full-time jobs. But it's not just about money. The stress and pressure of simply affording a basic life in the UK is draining people mentally and physically. Many immigrants feel like they're working just to pay bills, with nothing left to save or send back home. Meanwhile, countries like Germany, Canada, and Australia offer higher wages, lower living costs, and way better financial stability. It's no surprise that many are choosing to leave the UK for places where their salaries actually give them a good quality of life. And now, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Do you think the UK has become too expensive to live in? Are you struggling with rising costs, or have you considered leaving for a more affordable country? And if you're finding this video insightful so far, hit that like button and subscribe, because we have more eye-opening facts coming up, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Number 3. Stagnant wages and tough job market. Imagine moving to a new country, full of hope, expecting better job opportunities and higher wages. only to realize that the reality is far from what you expected. That's exactly what's happening to thousands of immigrants in the UK right now. For years, the UK was seen as a land of career growth, a place where hard work could elevate your financial and social status. But today, many immigrants find themselves stuck in low-paying jobs, unable to move up, and watching their purchasing power shrink month after month. The biggest issue? Wages in the UK simply aren't keeping up with inflation. While rent, groceries, and energy bills have skyrocketed, salaries have remained frustratingly stagnant. Many workers are earning the same amount they did 5 years ago, yet their expenses have doubled. And it's not just about the pay. Job opportunities are drying up. Post-Brexit, many industries have tightened hiring policies, making it harder for immigrants to secure jobs that match their skills. Companies are either cutting costs or requiring higher qualifications for the same roles that used to be accessible. Take skilled professionals, for example. Engineers, IT specialists, and even healthcare workers who once thrived in the UK are now looking at Germany, Canada, or the UAE, where salaries are not only higher but also come with lower taxes and better benefits. And then there's the work-life balance issue. Many immigrants find themselves overworked, exhausted, and undervalued, with little time left for family or personal growth. The idea of moving somewhere that offers better wages and a better lifestyle becomes more tempting by the day. The sad truth? The UK job market no longer looks as attractive as it once did. And as other countries roll out the red carpet for skilled professionals, the UK risks losing some of its best talent to places that actually reward hard work. And this is just another reason why people are walking away. But wait until you hear what's happening with attitudes towards immigrants in the UK. It's something no one likes to talk about, but it's playing a huge role in why people are leaving. Number 4. Post-Brexit hostile environment. Something changed after Brexit. It wasn't just about politics or trade deals, it was about how immigrants felt in the UK. Before Brexit, the UK was seen as an open, multicultural society where immigrants played a vital role in the economy. But now, many say the atmosphere has shifted, and not in a good way. There's been a noticeable rise in anti-immigrant sentiment, both in politics and everyday life. The media often blames immigrants for job shortages, housing crises, and even pressure on the NHS. The message? You're not as welcome here as you used to be. And immigrants feel it. Reports of workplace discrimination, difficulty renting homes, and even verbal abuse in public have increased. Some people who have lived in the UK for years, even decades, say they suddenly feel like outsiders in a country they once called home. But it's not just social attitudes. Government policies reflect this shift too. The famous hostile environment approach, which was meant to deter illegal immigration, has ended up making life difficult even for legal immigrants. Endless paperwork, visa uncertainties, and policies that seem to change overnight. It all creates an overwhelming sense of instability. Compare this to places like Canada or New Zealand, where governments actively encourage immigration, offering clear paths to permanent residency and citizenship. Many immigrants are starting to ask themselves, why should I stay in a country that doesn't seem to want me here? The result? A quiet but powerful exodus of people who once built their lives in the UK, now choosing to leave for places where they feel valued and respected. And for those who stay, many say they're constantly wondering if they made the right choice. Number 5. Healthcare struggles. The NHS used to be one of the UK's biggest selling points, a healthcare system that was free at the point of use and available to everyone. But today, many immigrants are realizing that the system is crumbling, and it's affecting them the most. Imagine this. You fall sick. You call your GP for an appointment. They tell you the next available slot is in 6 weeks. Need to see a specialist? That could take months, even over a year in some cases. For immigrants, especially those coming from countries with efficient private or public healthcare systems, this is a major shock. Many expected the UK to have world-class healthcare, but instead they're met with overcrowded hospitals, long waiting times, and exhausted doctors who can barely keep up. And here's where it gets worse. Many immigrants actually work in the NHS, yet they're the ones struggling the most. Doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers from abroad are underpaid, overworked, and burning out fast. The stress is unbearable, the pay doesn't match the workload, and many feel unappreciated despite being the backbone of the system. This is why thousands of foreign doctors and nurses are leaving the UK for places like Canada, Australia, and the Middle East, where salaries are higher, conditions are better, and their work is actually valued. And then there's the Immigration Health Surcharge, IHS. Immigrants in the UK have to pay extra fees just to access the NHS, on top of the taxes they already contribute. The government recently raised this charge to over £1,000 per year per person. So let's get this straight. Immigrants are working to keep the NHS running, paying extra fees to use it, yet receiving worse healthcare than they'd get elsewhere. It's no surprise many are saying, enough is enough. Number 6. High taxes and lower benefits. Let's talk money, because if there's one thing that's making immigrants rethink their future in the UK, it's the tax system. The UK has one of the highest tax burdens in Europe, and for many immigrants, it simply doesn't add up. You work hard, you pay 20 to 40% of your income in taxes, plus national insurance, plus council tax, plus VAT on almost everything you buy. But what do you actually get in return? For a long time, immigrants accepted high taxes because the UK offered things like free healthcare, good infrastructure, and strong public services. But now, public services are declining, the NHS is struggling, transport is expensive, and many people feel like they're paying more but getting less. And it's even worse for business owners and high earners. If you're an immigrant trying to build a business in the UK, you're dealing with endless bureaucracy, rising corporate taxes, and strict financial regulations. Many entrepreneurs are moving their businesses to Dubai, Singapore, or the US, where taxes are lower and policies are more business-friendly. Then there's the benefit system. In many European countries, workers, including immigrants, receive strong financial safety nets, from unemployment benefits to child support. In the UK, however, immigrants often struggle to access benefits, even though they contribute just as much as British citizens. Compare this to places like Germany, the Netherlands, or even Canada, where higher taxes actually translate into stronger public services and better financial security. Many immigrants are now asking themselves, why should I stay in the UK when I can get a better deal elsewhere? And here's the final blow. The UK's rising taxes don't come with rising wages. You're paying more but earning the same, while your living costs keep going up. For many immigrants, the numbers just don't make sense anymore. And if you think financial struggles are bad, wait until you hear about how the UK's work culture is draining people mentally and physically. This next reason is one of the biggest deal breakers. Number 7. Poor work-life balance. What's the point of earning money if you never have the time or energy to enjoy it? For many immigrants, the UK's work culture is exhausting. Long hours, high stress, and barely any time for personal life. It's a work, sleep, repeat cycle, and for many it's becoming unbearable. The UK has some of the longest working hours in Europe, yet productivity levels remain low. Many employees, especially in corporate jobs, healthcare, and hospitality, are expected to put in extra hours without additional pay. Overtime is common, burnout is real, and the pressure to constantly prove yourself as an immigrant worker is intense. But here's the real kicker. Despite working so much, people still struggle financially. Imagine grinding away for 40 to 50 hours a week and still barely making ends meet because of high taxes and rising costs. Meanwhile, countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and the Nordic nations are proving that shorter working weeks and better work-life balance actually lead to higher productivity and happier workers. Many UK immigrants see their friends and colleagues moving to these countries and experiencing less stress, more free time, and still earning well. Then there's paid leave and holidays. While the UK offers a minimum of 28 days of paid leave, in reality, many companies pressure workers to take less time off or make them feel guilty for using their holiday days. In contrast, France, Spain, and Scandinavian countries not only provide more vacation time, but also actually encourage employees to take breaks. For those who come from cultures where family time and personal well-being matter, this workaholic culture is a major turn-off. Many immigrants find themselves asking, is this really the life I wanted? And for some, the answer is clear. It's time to leave. Number 8. Crime and safety concerns. When people think about leaving a country, they usually talk about money, jobs, or living costs. But what happens when you start feeling unsafe in your own neighborhood? In recent years, crime rates in the UK have been rising, and many immigrants say they no longer feel as secure as they once did. Knife crime in major cities like London, Birmingham, and Manchester has become a serious issue, and violent crimes have been steadily increasing. And it's not just street crime. Burglary, car theft, and antisocial behavior are becoming more common, and police forces are often understaffed and slow to respond. Immigrants who moved here expecting a safe and stable environment are now questioning whether the UK is actually as secure as it once was. But there's another issue: racially motivated crimes and discrimination. Hate crimes have increased significantly since Brexit, and many immigrants report feeling more targeted and less welcome in certain areas. Some have experienced verbal abuse, workplace discrimination, and even physical attacks simply because they're from another country. And here's the worst part: many feel that the authorities aren't doing enough. Police response times have slowed due to budget cuts, and in some cases, victims of crime feel like they aren't taken seriously. For immigrants who moved here expecting law and order, this is a massive disappointment. Compare this to countries like Canada, Switzerland, or Singapore, where low crime rates and strict law enforcement make people feel genuinely safe. Many immigrants are now choosing to relocate to places where they don't have to constantly look over their shoulder. Safety is one of the most basic human needs, and if a country can't provide that, people will leave. Number 9. Limited career growth and bureaucracy. What's the point of moving to a country if your career never takes off? For many immigrants in the UK, this is the harsh reality. They come with big dreams, only to find themselves stuck in dead-end jobs with no real opportunities for growth. One of the biggest frustrations? The glass ceiling for immigrants. Even highly skilled professionals often find it harder to get promotions, face workplace bias, or are paid less than their British counterparts for the same work. Many report feeling like they have to work twice as hard just to be considered equal. Then there's the bureaucracy. The UK has made work visas and employment policies increasingly complex. Even if you have the right qualifications, many companies are reluctant to hire non-UK citizens because of the red tape involved in sponsoring work visas. This means fewer job opportunities and more frustration for skilled immigrants. And what about entrepreneurs? If you're an immigrant looking to start your own business, get ready for high taxes, endless paperwork, and banking restrictions that make it harder than ever to succeed. Compare this to places like Dubai, Canada, or the US, where setting up a business is easier, faster, and more profitable. For many, it feels like the UK is making it harder, not easier, for immigrants to thrive. You can get in, but can you actually move up? That's the real question. Meanwhile, countries like Germany and Australia are rolling out the red carpet for skilled workers, offering better job opportunities, higher wages, and smoother immigration pathways. It's no wonder many immigrants are packing up and moving on. Because let's be honest, no one wants to live in a place where they feel stuck. And for many, it's not just about jobs, crime, or money, it's about something even more personal. What happens when the UK makes it harder for you to be with your own family? This last reason is one of the most heartbreaking of all. Number 10. Family and community considerations. At the end of the day, life isn't just about money, jobs, or safety. It's about family, connection, and a sense of belonging. And for many immigrants in the UK, that's exactly what's missing. One of the biggest complaints? The UK's strict family reunification policies. If you're an immigrant who wants to bring your spouse, children, or parents to live with you, good luck. The UK has one of the toughest visa rules when it comes to family sponsorship. For example, if you want to bring your non-UK spouse to live with you, you must earn at least £18,600 per year, a number that's even higher if you have kids. And now, the government is planning to increase this threshold to over £38,700. That means thousands of immigrants, especially those in lower-paying jobs, will be forced to live apart from their families. Then there's the lack of a strong community feel. Unlike places like Canada, the US, or Australia, where large immigrant communities provide a sense of home, many in the UK struggle with loneliness and isolation. The fast-paced lifestyle, the lack of social support, and the feeling of being an outsider make it emotionally draining. For many immigrants, the idea of living thousands of miles away from their loved ones with no real way to bring them over just isn't worth it. They start looking at countries where family reunification is easier, where community ties are stronger, and where they actually feel like they belong. And that's why so many are making the tough decision to leave. After years of struggling with visas, high costs, career setbacks, and loneliness, many immigrants are finally asking themselves, why am I still here? And for a growing number of them, the answer is clear. It's time to move on. So what do you think? Is the UK pushing immigrants out, or are they simply choosing a better life elsewhere? Drop a comment below and tell us, would you stay or leave? If you found this video eye-opening, check out our previous video. You won't believe what we uncovered there. And hey, we put a lot of effort into bringing you these deep dives. So if you appreciate it, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us. See you in the next one.